Hi everyone! Thanks for tuning into my channel. I'm Kidest. This video, I want to address a pretty common faulty perspective in how we go about talking about life, how we go about talking about the universe. A common sort of narrative in the self-help, self-growth, self-evolution area is that, life is a test, that the universe is testing you. Whenever you experience a challenge, whenever you experience something that's challenging, that requires you to grow, that requires you to evolve, that requires you to move into a new level of expression, the way that experience is framed is that it's a test, that you're being tested. And if you pay attention to how that feels, you'll notice that it's not a high frequency construct. That way of framing your experiences, that way of framing the challenges you encounter, framing it as being tested, framing it as, being sort of on notice from the universe to evaluate you in some sort of judgmental way, or in a way where, it's almost like you're at a school and you're being tested and you're going to pass or fail. Like that kind of narrative is a pretty low frequency construct. If you have that in operation in your biofield, in your energy field, in your consciousness, the thing you want to do is reframe that. Choose a new way of evaluating what challenges mean, a new way of labeling and defining what the challenges showing up in your experiences are. Life is not a test, and the universe is not testing you. The unified field in which we have our existence, the universe that we call, the universe, is a wholly supportive, a wholly loving, a wholly nurturing field. So it's a field that is very much in support of your growth and evolution. It's a field that is very much backing you every step of the way as you go through your experiences, in a way that it is supporting and sort of nourishing and providing resources for your growth and evolution. So it is by no means testing you in any way or on any level. And we've taken, the sort of schooling construct of tests. You go to school, you learn, you take tests, and that's how you're evaluated on how your learning is going. And the very nature of testing is riddled with sort of anxiety and stress and pressure and sort of a tightness that in no way reflects the core energies of the universe in which we have our existence. That human construction of tests and testing is not something that you want to apply to your experience of life, to your experience of the universe, and to your experience of how things flow into your reality. So choose constructs that calibrate higher, choose constructs that vibrate at a higher frequency, so that how you take in the data of your life, how you receive the events and experiences and relationships that show up is framing your reality in a way that continually reminds you that you have universal support, that you have cosmic support to get through that experience, to get through to the other side of whatever transformative choice point you've reached, in that challenge that's showing up, in that changing circumstance that's showing up, which is usually when we say stuff like we're being tested. So it's really important to pay attention to the labels, the constructs, the definitions you're imposing on the otherwise neutral data showing up in your experience, because how you frame those experiences, how you frame that neutral data determines how you end up interfacing with that experience that's flowing through your day-to-day flow. So if you're using labels that empower you, if you're using definitions about the universe, about life that empower you, that reminds you and sort of keep you in that integrated knowledge that you have unlimited support, you have unlimited resources from the universe, how you move through that experience is vastly different than when you're holding on to constructs and using mental filters like you're being tested. So you want to pay attention to those labels you're sticking onto your experiences, regardless of where they're coming from, whether they're a cultural narrative or a family narrative. You want to go, wait a minute, is this really what I want to label it? Where does this label calibrate? At what level of consciousness? At what sort of frequency spectrum does this label and definition resonate, vibrate? And does it serve me? Does it give me energy? Does it empower me? Does it give me that sort of internal increased flow of power that I need to resolve this challenge, to move through this change? So you want to be discerning in that regard and choose the labels, the definitions, the ways of framing your reality that really keep you in those receptive states, that really keep you in those states of receptivity and those states of magnetism. So if you've been using this narrative of being tested, you want to delete and clear that from your field completely and begin to integrate a new way of framing those experiences. So, I've posted this in my social media channels. Instead of calling it a challenge, you can call it an adventure. Adventure registers differently to your nervous system than challenge. Challenge isn't a bad word. Challenge isn't a bad construct. It's the sort of vibrational load that it carries that you want to feel into and change if it currently feels to you like something that's dense, something that's tense. Instead of calling it an obstacle, I'm sure you've heard this, call it an opportunity. Again, opportunity is open. Opportunity is receptive. Opportunity is a construct that vibrates at a different level of consciousness than obstacles. So how you frame your experiences are super important in the way that you flow through, in the way that your nervous system navigates through the data of your life. So notice your constructs. Notice those very narratives that you make use of frequently. And if they're not calibrating at levels of consciousness that are empowering, make the decision to shift them. When you make that decision, the definitions, the constructs, the labels that better benefit you will be visible to you.